Masinya Attorneys Incorporated, a boutique commercial and taxation law firm in Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. Strategic lawyers on point with more than 20 years of practice experience. We are professional, capable, and qualified.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me at this time of the day. My name is Solomon Design Sean. Welcome to Solomon's Temple, where we get to discuss issues that have to do with our faith. And I thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for subscribing. And those of you who are watching for the very first time, you haven't subscribed yet, may I encourage you to do so right away. Thank you so much for being here. And I do hope you're having a great year so far. Yeah, this is going to be a great year indeed. Just walk with God. Walk with God. Whatever any prophet has prophesied, whatever any words you have received, any prayer that you have prayed, just walk with God. Walk with God. Moses did. Elijah. Just walk with God. And I would want to encourage you guys also, especially Bereans, take time to wait on the Lord. Take time to do a fast. Fasting and prayer. I'm sure some of you guys are going through a fast now. But I'm not talking about a corporate fast, just a church fast. It's good. Join that. But you have to have a personal time of prayer and fasting for yourself so you can hear God for yourself. I want to encourage you to do so right away. Marriage, RACINE and RUTH. Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, this is definitely another union that Satan will be happy about. Satan will be happy with this sort of union. You see, marriage is a covenant. You covenanted with each other. So in marriage, there is 3 persons involved in the covenant. There's you, there's either your wife, there's a man, there's the woman, and then there's God. Now I'm talking about marriage for people who are Christians. Whether you have the marriage in court, in the magistrate, in the home affairs department, traditionally in your family's home, or in a church, or in a chapel, or wherever. As long as you are a Christian, God is there and is saying you are taking this person. God is there. Your family agreed, right? So marriage is so simple, though we make it very complicated. But it's a covenant that you go into. But unfortunately, some marriages, instead of God being the third person in that marriage, we see Satan. From the beginning, actually. Sometimes from the beginning, God is said to be involved in the covenant. But somewhere down the line, years later, God evaporates. God's presence evaporates. If there's anything like that. Because of sin. Because of our disobedience. God doesn't force himself into a relationship. God doesn't force himself onto people. You have free will. You have to choose. So marriage is very important because when you go into that union, that would have to create something and glorify something. Who is your marriage going to glorify? And who is your marriage glorifying right now? That's the big question. Who is your marriage glorifying? Is it God? Is it Satan? Sometimes you have marriages where you can clearly see that the couple are trying to glorify, or one of the persons in the marriage is trying to glorify God, and the other is not, or both of them want to glorify God with their presence or with their finances. But when it comes to their faithfulness, sexual faithfulness to each other, it isn't there. They want to glorify God in terms of giving their tithes or contributing or helping out in church. But when it comes to honesty and truthfulness, when they do business, when they speak, you do not see that. So that's definitely something to consider. So now we have Racine, as a lot of you guys know him, and Ruth getting married. Racine, for a lot of people that know him, obviously, is someone that has been at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, that is Cohen, as they call it, for a very, very long time. This is him, Prophet Nassim, they call him. I don't see anything. I don't see any. I don't think, and I am convinced that nobody who had any sort of mentorship under T.B. Joshua, especially those who have been spent a lot of years there, should be considered a prophet. Maybe a seer, but not a prophet of God. You can be a prophet, but who are you a prophet of? That's another thing, right? People claim to be prophet. Yeah, you can be a prophet. You don't need to follow God to be a prophet. You don't need to know Jesus to be a prophet. Prophet is just a word from the dictionary. But the thing is, whose prophet are you? As a prophet, under whose authority are you? Are you a prophet of the one living God? Or you are a prophet of God that is created by yourself, by a combination of just different things? So this is Prophet Racine. A lot of you guys know him. He's been a lot on TV preaching, and for a long time when T.B. Joshua was there, he was one of the closest people to T.B. Joshua. He's originally from Senegal, but moved to France, where he lived. And from France, he came down to join T.B. Joshua's team, where he rose to be a wise man, so-called wise man, as they call it. And now they call him a prophet. He's one of the backbones during T.B. Joshua's years. He was one of the backbones in the leadership. That was why even after T.B. Joshua passed away and his wife, Evelyn, took over right now, she couldn't get rid of him because they need him. Even though there were problems, relationship problems between him and T.B. and Evelyn Joshua, T.B. Joshua's wife, Cam, they couldn't get rid of him because he's very important. He's one of the faces of SCOAN globally. Now, again, if you were mentored by T.B. Joshua, I would never consider you a prophet of God, especially for somebody like Racine, who has spent so many years at SCOAN in Lagos, and he knows about the atrocities of T.B. Joshua. Now, on the flip side, the lady that he's getting married to, Ruth, they call her Evangelist Ruth. This is Ruth, regular face on, what do you call that T.B. Joshua's TV station, TV channel again? I've forgotten the name. Please, somebody remind me. But she's a regular face there, preaching, teaching. She's originally English, from England, and herself have been there for so many years. Okay, so I should check my sound. Okay, just trying to check. I hope my sound is better now. Please let me know. Is my sound better now? Just before I continue. All right, so good now. All right, thank you so much. Yes, Bongani says Emmanuel TV. Thank you. Thank you. So We have a evangelist, Ruth, who is now getting married to RACINE. She has spent a lot of time at the synagogue church of all nations. This is her again, preaching and teaching. And to be honest with you, some of these people, they come to synagogue church of all nations. Okay. As long as it's manageable, right, guys? All right. So a lot of people come to Synagogue Church of All Nation, and they really wanted to make sure that they really want to really seeking for God. But then you get into a place like that, and then you discovered a lot of things that is not godly, and then you get trapped. I don't know Racine's story or Ruth's story, but I know there are so many people that actually get trapped. They see a ministry and they really want to feel the presence of God. They want to be mentored, and they get in there and they discovered actually what they had experienced on TV or from a distance is not really what it is when you come close. Thank you, guys. All right. Okay. Thank you. Sound is better. Sound is good now. So now the news just came up that RACINE and Ruth are getting married. This is RACINE, so-called Prophet RACINE, wise man RACINE, whatever you call him, and Ruth. RACINE, a French Senegalese born, and Ruth, an English woman. Both have spent so many years under the mentorship of TB Joshua. Now, if you've spent so many years under the mentorship of TB Joshua, I don't need you to tell me what you've learned from TB Joshua. I will tell you what you've learned from TB Joshua. And I will tell you that what you've learned from TB Joshua is definitely unbiblical. And it will not lead you to God, except you renounce your ways and repent and restitute, because you were part of those that were deceiving people, lying to people, manipulating people, or you saw the manipulation, you saw the lies, the fake prophecies, the oil that is being used, and you kept quiet. RACINE last week and 2 weeks ago, he was using their miracle water on people, spraying it on people at the Synagogue Church of All Nations. He's one of the most popular so-called wise men or prophets. And now that he's getting married to Ruth, do you think he's going to stay at the Synagogue Church of All Nations for a long time? No, he's not going to be there for a long time. Both of them, because they also have their own influence, so they will probably leave very soon, in a short time, a year or two, and start their own thing. So they're getting married. This is them again here. These photos are circulating right now. You could see they're definitely in love. And where are they getting married? They're getting married first. The marriage is actually, the wedding is going to be, the wedding is going to take place on Monday, February 14th. That's going to be on Valentine's Day in Peckfonton Castle, Stonehouse Lane, Peckfonton, Cheshire, in the UK. And then they're going to take, from the 14th, they will now go to Senegal, a Saturday, between Monday and Saturday, and they're going to have a civil marriage there, which will take place on Saturday, February the 19th, in Dakar, in Senegal. I mean, when it comes to weddings, you can wish people the best and the best in their marriage. But you see, this is one marriage or wedding that I would hesitate to not wish them the best. Because you see, they've been so polluted by Abdul Fattah Balogun, TB Joshua. They've been so mentored. They're still following his ways. They're still believing in his ways. And when the two of them, having spent collectively between them not less than 15 years at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, when the two of them now join forces and decide to do, to kickstart their own so-called church or ministry, you can imagine the kind of havoc that they're going to cause. It is sad. And you can ask yourself again, why didn't these people get married long time ago? You think it's because they never met each other? I like to ask you, have you ever seen TB Joshua at a wedding, or TB Joshua officiating a wedding? Have you ever seen TB Joshua officiating a wedding? Please, I don't know. I'm a journalist and I've researched. I couldn't find any. Even his daughter's wedding, he wasn't the officiating guy. He didn't even attend it. Okay, maybe because he was sick, maybe because he hid his sickness. But even if he was sick, but we still see him, he still comes out and tries to say he was preaching. Have you ever seen TB Joshua officiating a wedding? Have you ever seen a wedding at the synagogue? At the Synagogue Church of All Nations? Have you ever seen a TB Joshua officiating a funeral? I don't know. I'm still trying to look for one. You think it is just by mistake, or he doesn't want to do that? Or people don't get married in the church because part of the covenant is no marriages should happen there. TB Joshua is not supposed to join people in holy matrimony. He's supposed to be destroying marriages, destroying lives, and not allow them to get married. That's part of the plan with Satan. TB Joshua has never, he's the only so-called pastor or prophet that I know that has never officiated a marriage. Officiated a wedding, I mean. One prophet that does not encourage marriage. He will not come out and tell you, obviously. People like Bisola, who've been there for so many years, none of them got married. How many of his disciples or so-called evangelists or wise men or prophets have gotten married in that church or got married whilst they were there? None. That's why I tell you that TB Joshua, the devastation that he has caused families and lives, allowed Satan to use him to destroy families and lives. It's sad. It's sad. And I see RACINE and RUTH go in the same way, except drastically they repent and change and confess all that TB Joshua truly is, because it's not enough for you to go to repent. And no, you have to tell people the truth. So for them joining forces and even trying to, now they're getting married. What does the Bible say in Amos 3:3? How can two walk together unless they agree? They have walked with TB Joshua. RACINE walked with TB Joshua for a long time. So he means he agreed with TB Joshua. You cannot walk with me if you don't agree with me. You cannot be my partner. You cannot allow yourself to be mentored by myself if you don't agree with me. Ruth did the same thing. And now the two of them are joining forces to work together for the rest of their life until death do us part. What does that say? What does that say? The devastation that these people have caused, they are collaborators of the evil of TB Joshua. End of story. They cannot tell me, they cannot exempt themselves from it. And them joining forces is not good news. It's bad news. And that's what I have to say about it. Frost says, have nothing to do with the unfruitful works of darkness. Rather expose them, Ephesians 5:11. And that's what we're going to keep exposing here. Whether you agree or do not agree. But the unfruitful works of darkness, we will have nothing to do with it. We will expose it. That's what it is. TB Joshua was the greatest evil of this generation. I agree with you. I agree with you. Ada says, guys, please like this video. Thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Please go ahead. Like the video. Anna says, I have never seen him do so, nor the wedding or funeral. Maybe they were not recorded. What if TB Joshua loves publicity? And you mean they're not going to record it? He records everything, Anna. I have never seen TB Joshua officiate a wedding, attend a wedding, officiate a funeral. You know why? Because his mandate was to destroy families, not to join families, not to join people in holy matrimony. Simple. Simple. We will keep exposing and exposing and exposing these works, the works of darkness, the unfruitful works of darkness, until Jesus returns. That's what we're going to keep doing. This is what it is. So it's easy for us to congratulate people when they get married or when they get babies and all that. But you have to ask yourself, who is this marriage going to glorify? Who? And I'm not going to use the power of my tongue, the power that God has given me in my tongue, to bless a union like that. A union that has TB Joshua's hands all over it, TB Joshua's aura all over it. Can't do that. Can't do that. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video. Shalom.